Okay, so this is an instructional video on complex sentences. So when you look at this sentence, when I saw the river, I was afraid. The easiest way to identify a complex sentence is to look for clauses. And in this instance, I've broken down parts of speech because that helps me identify what my subjects and predicates are. So when I saw the river, I was afraid. So in the first part, when I saw the river, that is what we call a dependent clause. It does not stand on its own. And so I've identified the parts of speech. I is pro, saw is verb, the is article, river is noun. All right. In the second clause, I was afraid is an independent clause. It stands alone. I've got a pronoun, a verb, and an adjective, not a verb. And so what you're looking at here is we're left with now identifying what makes this a complex sentence, and that would be the word when. It's the only word that we've not identified yet, and that is a dependent clause or a subordinating conjunction because that makes clause 1 a dependent clause. So a great way to identify a subordinating conjunction in a sentence is to take it out, read the clause without it, and if it makes sense now, you know that that word was a subordinating conjunction. For example, I saw the river. That's an independent clause. But when I add when, now it becomes a dependent clause. So a complex sentence incorporates this subordinating conjunction. And in this sentence, it's in the front, and at the end of the clause is a comma. That is one way to write it. Another way to write it looks like this. I was afraid when I saw the river. So this is exactly the same sentence, except I've moved parts around. So now, instead of the subordinating conjunction being in front, it's now in the middle. It's in between both clauses. I was afraid is an independent clause. I saw the river is an independent clause. But the punctuation is different now. There's no comma in this sentence. So whenever you have a subordinating conjunction in the middle of a sentence or not at the front, the rules change. There is no comma then. This is still a complex sentence. I still have an independent clause, I was afraid, and a dependent clause, when I saw the river. That's what makes it complex. But so there are two ways to write this sentence, and it's all depending on where I place that subordinate conjunction. Make sure you show Mr. Gallagher your notes when you are finished.